Hello guys! There are hundreds of videos on YouTube regarding how to restore your headlights on your car, your truck or your street bike, and they all pretend to make your lights better than new. They surely don't have a 15 years old car. Today I will restore the headlights of my 2005 Pontiac Grand Prix, so let's watch it. Even if I told you that I was not about to make a video about mechanic before at least 2 months, today it's hot outside. It's actually plus 2 degrees. So I said to myself, why not make a little video and fix my headlight in the same time. As you can see, I have already one removed, the passenger side. But I will show you how to remove them. They are super easy to remove. So to remove the headlight assembly, this is on the driver's side, but it's the same for both sides. You only have one bolt to remove, and it is this one. So you don't need to remove the top of the bumper like other models like the G6, and you don't need to remove that because this is holding the whole plastic mount, but only this bolt is holding the headlight assembly. So let's remove it. So after that, you need to lift this piece of metal and pull gently on the light. Should come just like that. After that, you need to disconnect the wire, usually long enough so you don't have any trouble. So this is it. You have your headlight. And as you can see, it's pretty yellowed, it's frosty, so I need to do both, but I will show you inside. I will do that job inside. So as you can see, it's very easy to remove these headlights, so there's no point in taping all around the lights to do a buffing job to fix the lens, since I'm sure it will take you longer to tape around your lights than just remove the full assembly from the car and do it comfortably on a stable table at the right height, not on your knees in front of your car. And this way you're sure when you will sand your headlights, you won't touch the paint, you won't spray compound or soap or anything on your car. So your car will stay clean and you will do a better job on your headlight, because you won't be shy to go on the hedge or close to the hedge since there's no car in the way. So for this, it's better when you can remove the headlights. Like in this case, it's very easy. You better to remove the headlights. There's some case where you need to remove the bumper in a way to remove the headlights. So there's too much of time consuming and work and risk of breaking things if you don't know what you're doing. So you better let the headlight on the car and do the job on the car. But in this situation with this Grand Prix, it's very easy to remove the headlights, so there's no point on working with this on the car. So on this, I will show you a little problem I saw when I was doing the inspection, because since you have the headlights in your hand when you repairing the lens like I will do, or when you just want to replace a bulb, is the best time to do a visual inspection and see if there's a crack or there's something. And actually my guess is a car hit my car in a parking lot or something, because I never hit any car and I found that I have a crack in my lights, and I also have a broken piece in my car, the holder of the headlight is broken. It's not at the point where I need to buy a new one, but I will need some fixing on this side. But let me show you the crack on my headlight. I will try to show you as close as I can. So if sorry, okay, here, if you look closely, there's a crack here. It's come from behind the rubber. It's run here and it go up until the side marker lights. Fortunately, it's in the side marker section, but it's all communicating together. So I will I will clean the area and I will apply some silicone or something, because if the moisture get in this housing, I will have foggy lights inside, and I will have fog inside my lights, and obviously we don't want that. So while we're inside, you can see here it's very foggy, especially on the higher section where the sun is, let's say, shining more closely on the lights all the time, because I hate when they do that. They do a portion of lens matching the hood, if you'd like, because it's always exposed to weather, to sun, and it will obviously get yellowed or foggy very fast. As you can see, it's going down. It's very ugly and it's affecting the performance of the lights at night. So we will do that. The passenger side, look like there's some crack in it. I don't know how deep they are. I will try to sand. Obviously, I don't want to pass through it, but the sandpaper in the kit are 1000 grain and 3000 grains, so there's no way I will pass through the entire plastic. I believe it's like 1/8 of an inch thick, but I don't know if you can see the crack or the lines. I will try to remove that. Maybe I will have to sand a lot to do that, but since I have them on my counter, it's the best way to work on it. And as you can see, there's no car in the way, so I can go around the rubber to sand as close as possible, so the lights will look pretty much like a brand new. But since I have a rubber which protecting the lights, I will show you the difference. So under the rubber, the sun haven't shined, so you can straight see the difference between the fog or the part where the sun affects the lens compared to the brand new side under the rubber. So our goal is to match this side. I don't know if I will be able to do that because it's very damaged, but I will do my best to achieve it. I'm using the Maguire's restoration kit. The only thing I don't like is that the sanding is by hand and not with the drill. So when you have a lens where it's very damaged and you need to sand more, you might have to sand for a long time. There's one here. So guys, a little update with this thing. by hand it will take me a week, and I don't have that patience. So like you know me, I just built a tool. I took the paper that they put in a kit, the paper that stick on this, and I cut a piece of foam. It's a 1-inch foam, pink styrofoam for insulation, and I cut that in two, and I cut the shape with a hole saw or a bit to make the hole in doors for the door knob. So I took that and I punch a hole in the middle of the sandpaper, and I will put I put that on a bolt. Sorry. So I took the paper, I punch a hole in it, I pass a bolt through, and in the between I let a washer because I don't want the head of the bolt to get through this thing. After that I took this insulation foam. It's a 1-inch insulation foam. I cut that in two, and I cut a round shape. I got another washer and a nut. So I will use that on the drill, and I know it will work because I done that before. The only thing I need to be very careful of is not to touch the lens with the bolt, because this will scratch the lens very bad, and there's no sandpaper that will be able to remove a scratch if I scratch the lens with that. So I need to be careful. But apart from this detail, I think it will work pretty good. So the step one is done. I've been very aggressive because the lens is very damaged. I've used 400 grit and I installed it on my homemade drill bit because it was so damaged. I tried to get as deep as I could without getting through, but it's 1/8 of inch thick, so there's no big chance that I going through it. But my guess is the heat of the bulb or the heat of the light cooked the lens. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see from this angle, but this area here, there's a lot of crack in the plastic, and I believe it's right through the plastic from the inside on to the outside, because I sanded a lot and I don't even touch them. So I believe it's from the inside. The heat of the lamp has cooked the lens. It's what I think, but maybe it's not that. But anyway, I cannot sand through this, so I will have to live with it. So now the 400 grit step is done. I will jump back to the 1000 grit, and after that I will jump to the 3000. But I will update you after the 1000, and I will show you the difference. But my guess it will look pretty much as it look right now, because the 400 grit haven't done much scratch. I don't know if you can see, but all this area here is full of damage, crack, and I can't say chip, but a lot of crack, small crack, big crack, and it's all from inside. Like I said earlier, it's look like the heat from the lamp inside cooked the plastic. So I cannot sand more than that. So I am ready to apply the first step of polishing. It's a compound actually. Maguire's compounds come with the kit. So I finished the passenger side. It's not a perfect light, doesn't look like a brand new headlight, but the car is a 2005, so it's kind of normal that the light have get some damage with time. It's 14 years old car, but I'm pretty happy with the result, so let me show you. So guys, the first is done. The only thing left to do is the film protection for UV ray. But I will do both in the same time later. But just to compare the sound, just listen the sound of the one I just made when I'm rubbing it. And the other one. So you can hear straight away how dirty, not dirty because I just cleaned it, but how damaged the lens is. So I will jump on the second one right now. As you can see, I've started on this side, and as soon as I got rid of the yellow and all the surface scratch, I can see the damage inside the lens. Unfortunately, this I won't be able to remove those like spider web inside. This damage will be permanent. Obviously it will be way more clear than what it was before I started. And I need to say, in some videos guys do that job in 3, 5, 15 minutes, and apologize for the expression, but this is bullshit. With my lens damaged as they were, only on the passenger side I passed 5 hours on working on this light, and now I'm on this one for about 45 minutes, and as you can see I still have a lot of work to do. I'm still on the 400 grit. I'm here, I'm still buffing this area. I have all this area to cover yet before starting on the 1000 grit. Because I must say, in that case, with that damage, I'm not just working on removing the yellow gloss on the lens, but I'm also working on removing all the chip made by rock, and well, with time, or the scratch from multiple washing. I'm now finished with the 400 grit. So it's shade practically even everywhere. I mentioned earlier in the video that I found a crack in the back of the headlight unit or the headlight assembly, and you can see here now that the lens is more clean or more clear, that there is some dirt inside the lens. Unfortunately, I cannot remove that. I don't know if you can see. You can see some spot of dirt inside the lens, so I have to live with it because I won't open this. It can be open. You need to put this in the oven for a couple of minutes so the glue that holding the lens to the unit can be soft enough so you can pull on the lens, but I won't go on this way. I will live with this dirt in the headlight. I managed to remove most of this dirt from the inside of the headlight using a vacuum. The way I did it is I found a pipe that was fitting the hole of the lights, of one of the lights, and I put the other end of the pipe in the hose of the vacuum, so everything was air sealed. After that, I started the vacuum and I tapped gently on the lens to dislodge the dirt from the lens, and with the suction of the vacuum, it's gone straight away in the hose of the vacuum or in my pipes. So I managed this way to remove most of this dirt inside of the headlights. But unfortunately, the video was already edited when I did this, reason why it's not in the video. But I assure you it works perfectly if the dirt is not sticking too hard on the lens. I'm now done with the 1000 grit. I'm jumping to the 3000 grit now for the final sanding, or the final step of the sanding. The reason why I keep the 1000 grit pad under is to have more support, because my foam is not big enough for the big pad of the 3000. But I forgot to put my washer, and I also put a washer here so the head of the screw doesn't get too deep in the pad. It's a homemade drill bit, obviously, but it worked perfectly for the job. So if someone have some cutting compound at home, my guess is you don't need a kit at all, because you can build this yourself with there's just a piece of insulation foam, and if you don't have a pad like that, you can cut your insulation foam a bit bigger and take a piece of sandpaper like I did when I was sanding with 400 grit, and you have a homemade drill bit. I put two nuts only because when I spin the drill clockwise, it get the nut loose, so I locked it with a second nut. It doesn't go anywhere, because if I put it too tight, the pad will shrink like it, and it won't work well at all. We'll start back from here, or I mean the top. I don't know if you can tell, but I still have some scratch from the previous sanding, but it's almost there. So another pass here and it will be done. So I have to do that for the entire assembly, and after that we will be ready for the cutting compound. So we start to see very clearly in this side, while in this side it's still very foggy. This side is still under the 1000 grid, while this side is almost done on the 3000 grid. I still have some kind of swirl, so I will go a last time on this side to make sure I get rid of every mark. But it's pretty soft now. It's almost ready for the cutting compound. So I will do one last time on this side. I will finish on this side, and after that I will do the cutting compound. We're done with the sanding. I'm now ready for starting the cutting compound or the plastic X. It's clean. The compound is done. I'm now at the last step, which is the headlight protectant application. So let's try it right now. Let's see how it works. Kind of put too much, but After I'm done with the UV protector, it's now time to wipe out any excess with a clean towel. It's now the turn of the passenger side to receive the UV protector treatment. And finally, the final step, which is removing the excess with the clean towel. So as you can see, even if my lens is now pretty much crystal clear, we cannot fix 15 years old of damage in a headlight. Obviously, if your car is not very old, if it's 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years headlights, and you don't have damage from the inside, you will be able to restore it pretty much like a new one. But using peanut butter, toothpaste, or another grandma tip won't help you if your headlight is damaged like mine. If you find this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the little bell so you will be notified as soon as I will release a new video. So on this, I wish everybody a great day and see you later. Goodbye.